Good morning, grade 11s. I hope you're all doing well. So today we're going to take a look at the worked examples on page 138 and 139 in your textbook. So we'll just look at some questions which is on the topic of floor elevation and design plans. Right, so let's start with question 1. So if you look on page 138 at the bottom left corner, it says, question 1, study the floor plan in the column alongside the answer, or alongside and then answer the questions that follow. So you'll see there's plan A and plan B, one of which is the ground floor of a unit and the other which would be the first floor. So there's a few things that you can see, if I can just get the laser pointer here. And you'll see that you've got some stairs here, which shows you the direction in which the stairs are moving upwards. If you look at you see there's a living room area here, dining, a kitchen, bathroom, and then on a different floor where the rooms are, you'll see a room with a queen size. Right, so which plan represents the ground floor? And give a reason for your answer. If we take a look at these plans again, which one would you say is the ground floor? So to give you a hint here, you would want to look at the perimeter of the building, or this apartment or duplex or unit, whatever we want to call this. And somewhere along the side you'll see an entrance. Right. So we'll see that it seems to be the floor on where you find the dining area and the kitchen and so on, because of this. So your answer would be plan B, as it indicates an entrance door over here. Okay. 1.2, describe the similarities and differences between the ground floor and the first floor bathrooms. So we are focusing on the bathrooms here. Here you have one here on the ground floor, which we have established, and there is another bathroom over there. And what is the differences? You'll see that both of them each has a toilet, a basin, and then the ground floor unit, or the ground floor, has a shower, and the first floor has a bathtub. So this would in fact be your answer. Both the ground floor and first floor bathrooms have a toilet and basin. However, the ground floor bathroom has a shower, whilst the first floor bathroom has a bath, and that's the difference you want to focus on there. Question 1.3. What key features is missing from the first floor plan? When we look at the first floor, it is the floor above the ground floor. That's the first floor we are referring to, okay? Don't confuse the ground floor for the first floor. We know that this is in fact the first floor, the floor above the ground floor, because there you'll see the entrance there. All right, so what key features is missing from the first floor plan? So there's stairs going up here. They've indicated all the entrances. There's a closet over there, and so on. So one thing that is missing that they point out here in our worked example is that, again, if you look along the perimeter of this floor, do you see that there's no plan, or there's no indication of any windows, which is which is not really realistic, right? You're not going to have rooms. You're not going to really buy a place where there's no windows on the top floor. It will be super dark. So in actual fact, the plan does not show any windows. All right. If the scale of the plan is 1 to 150, determine the cost of carpeting the main bedroom, including under the closet, if the carpet costs 225 Rand per square meter. Right, so the first thing we want to look at here is that they give us a scale, right? Remember, 1 unit on the actual plan on the page is equal to 150 times that same unit in real life. So if you measure 1 centimeter on the drawing or the map, or the plan, sorry, you would have to multiply that with 150 to get the dimension in reality. Right, so let's determine the cost of carpeting that main bedroom. So first we need to identify the main bedroom here. The main bedroom would be the one where the king size bed is. Generally, a main bedroom in many apartments these days either has an ensuite bathroom, or you'll find that it's usually the bigger or the larger room amongst the other rooms in the houses. And you'll see that we are able to fit a queen size bed there and a king size one here. There's looks like it would be a built-in closet, and you see that this room over here looks a little bit smaller. Since the bathroom kind of goes into that room, it's not completely rectangular shape, whereas the main bedroom seems to have a little bit more space. So they are asking us to calculate the cost of carpeting per square meter here, including the closet. So all we need to find is the dimensions of this room. So you would need to physically measure with a ruler the length of the room and then the breadth of the room. Right, and we've discussed area before, so if we need to calculate the area, and then we'll multiply that area with the cost. Right, so the actual length, if you measure it, is 4,9 centimeters, and we have to multiply this with 150 to get the actual dimension in real life, right? And then we convert this to meters. Right, because we want to compare meters to meters. We want to calculate the area in square meters, because the cost here has been given to us in square meters. So remember, to convert from centimeters to meters, there's a conversion factor of 100, and that you get just by dividing that by 100. So the length of the room is 7,35 meters, and you'll see that the breadth is 4,35 meters, because you measured 2,9 centimeters on the actual plan. You multiply that with 150 to use that scale over there. Right, so the area of the main bedroom is calculated as length times breadth. Remember that formula. And it gives us 31,97 square meters. Now I'm going to round up to 32 square meters, since the cost of carpeting is 225 Rand per square meter, and they will sell the carpets to you in whole meters. So it's best to round up in this situation. So now that I've got the area of the room and I've got the cost per square meter, all I need to do is multiply this square meter unit we've got here with the price. And that gives us a total cost of 7,200 Rand to carpet the main bedroom. All right, so that was question 1. Let's move on to question 2. Right, so Mr. Prinsloo has the floor and elevation plans of his house drawn up before building his house. Let's study the plan below and answer the questions that follow. 2.1. How many internal doors does Mr. Prinsloo have in his house here? Internal doors. So let's take a look at the actual plan. So we are looking for the internal doors here. Let me just get the pointer here again. Right, so we are looking for the internal door. So I'm going to exclude all the doors along the perimeter of this plan. And we're going to count the ones inside. So here's 1, there's 2, there's 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And here you'll have a closet, which we're not really going to count as a door, since it doesn't lead or enter a specific room in the household. So we'll just count these doors as the internal doors of this house. And on the side you'll see the north elevation, south elevation, and east elevation of the home, and which is just the views of the house as viewed from the side. And this is, of course, a view from the top, and you'll see the scale here is also 1. In actual fact, our answer is 7 internal doors. Right, so 2.2, match the elevation plans to the front, back, and side of Mr. Prinsloo's house and give an explanation as to your choice. Okay, so let's take a look at the plans and match them together. Right, so if you get the laser again. If you look at the front of the house, this would be perceived as the front side of the house, since there is an entrance door. And generally, a house won't really have an entrance in the kitchen, except, these modern townhouses that we build these days. The main entrance tends to be in the kitchen, and that would probably be the north-facing part of the house. But this particular household looks like it has a garage on the side, and then usually that would lead us to the main entrance, and there's a little porch, and it leads into the lounge. So this would be considered the front of the house, and then you'll have the side of the house here, and that would be the back of the house where the laser is now. Right, so let's look at the front side of the house. You'll see that there is a bay window here, one of those windows that slightly move away from the wall of the house, and there's usually a little bit of a bay, a little area you can sit in here or put cushions or books or whatever you want to put there, plants and so on. And then there's a front door, leads to a porch, and then there's another window. So if you were to compare it to any one of these side views over here, or these elevations, it looks to me like the north elevation would be the best match here, because you see there's a bay window over there and the front door and the kitchen window. So we can say the north elevation represents the front side of the house because of the bay window there, the front door, and the kitchen window there. Right, let's look at the side of the house. Here there is a door leading into the kitchen. There is a window, and that's pretty much all we can see on the side. And if you were to look at this east elevation, you'll see that there's a door and there's a window, and that matches the top view over here. So you can say that the east elevation matches the side of the house because of the kitchen door and single window as viewed from above. Right, and then that leaves us with the back of the house, and of course that would then leave the south elevation. But the reason would be because of these 3 windows that you can see here at the back. If you were to view that from the side, there's the 1-bedroom window, the bathroom window, and the other bedroom window. So this matches the back side of the house. You would say the south elevation matches the back side of the house because of the 3 windows as viewed from this, or from the top. Which you can, I suppose, also mention there's 2 bedroom windows and 1 bathroom window in the middle. So in fact, your answers would be as follows. Like we said, north elevation as the bay window, door, and window can be seen on both plans. The south elevation shows the back of the house as 3 windows can be seen on both plans. And the east elevation shows the side of the house as a door and window can be seen on both plans. So they tend to compare it to one with the other. So you can say as seen on both plans at the end of your sentence. Right. 2.3, determine the actual dimensions of the lounge in meters. So what we first need to do is find the lounge, right? So we'll find the lounge first and then calculate its dimensions by measuring it with a ruler and converting that to meters. And in order for us to do that, we will first need to make use of the scale they gave us, which was 1 to 150, and convert our answers to meters. Okay, so here you have the lounge. You'll have to measure the breadth and the length of the lounge to find what it is in centimeters, and then we'll have to multiply that with the scale of 150 to convert that to centimeters in the real world, and of course convert that to meters because that's what they want our final answer to be. So if you go to measure with your ruler, you'll see it's 3,3 centimeters, and we multiply that with 150 to get it in reality, 495 centimeters. And of course, we divide that by 100 to get the dimension of, or get it in meters. And we do the same with the breadth. Measure 2,8 centimeters times 150. You get your answer of 420 centimeters, and that is 4,2 meters. And that's your answer. They just want the dimensions of the lounge in meters. Question 3. So Conrad would like to buy a table and chair bench for his braai patio. So study the design plans below and answer the questions that follow. So this is the dimensions given for this table and chair bench. And they give you various dimensions, like the breadth of the actual table, the distance between the one end of the bench to the other end of the bench, the height of the table, etc., etc. So taking a look at the questions, determine the height of the tabletop in meters again from the ground. All right. So they want us to determine the height in meters. So you'll see that they give you these dimensions here. And from the ground to the bench, it's 435 millimeters. And remember, we need to convert this to meters. And then the height from the bench to the top of the table is 315 millimeters. So we would simply have to add those two dimensions together to get 750 millimeters. But we need to convert that to meters, right? So 750 millimeters is the equivalent of 0,75 meters, right? Because I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. I'm going to divide by 1,000 there, right? The conversion factor is 1,000. 3.2. Assuming that the wooden planks that make up the tabletop are put together side by side with no gaps between them, calculate the width of a plank. Right, so there's the dimensions again. And you'll see that the top of the table there is given as 565 millimeters in breadth there, or length. And you'll see the number of planks is 6. They want us to determine the breadth of a plank in meters, so one single plank. So we will have to divide this dimension here with the amount of planks, because they said there's no gaps in between. So, and we'll have to do a conversion at the end. I think I said on the previous slide in meters, they want us to give it in centimeters, just to correct myself there. So just to reiterate, so the breadth here, or the length, is 565 millimeters for all 6 planks. So what's the length or the breadth of one plank? So I'll first say 565 millimeters divided by 6 gives you 94,17 millimeters for one plank, but the answer needs to be converted to centimeters. So I simply divide by 10 because the conversion factor is 10. I'm going from millimeters to centimeters, and there are 10 millimeters in a centimeter. Right, 3.3. Conrad would like to fit this table into a space that measures 1,25 meters in length. Will this table and chair bench fit? Show all calculations to substantiate your answer. So you'll see the longest dimension given on this diagram here is 1,260 millimeters, which is 1,26 meters. So you would say, no, the bench won't fit into the space measuring 1,25 meters, because 1,260 millimeters is equal to 1,26 meters, and that's already bigger than the dimensions that he wants his bench to fit in. All right, so I believe that was the last question. Um, that is it for today, boys and girls. If there are any questions about this, feel free to let your teachers know. Thank you for your time, and we will see you next time. All right, have a good day, grade 11s.